Hi guys, so today I'm gonna show you how to make samosa pockets and how to stuff your samosa pockets just before you fry them. For this we shall need your meat or whatever you're gonna stuff your samosas with. In my case I decided to do a mix of minced meat and green peas. It's already cooked. You can cook it in whatever way you want, spice it in whatever way you want. I prefer plain, basically just onions, minced meat, peas, and black pepper and curry. You'll also need tortillas. I normally get dumpsters from any of the main stores will have it. Just the plain, no artificial flavor added. Simply the larger pieces will do better than the smaller pieces. You'll also need toothpicks, a spoon, about quarter or a third of a cup of water, a tablespoon of flour, all-purpose flour, and a knife. We'll show you how all these come together. So first we shall make what we term as our glue. It's basically a paste that you'd use to hold your pockets together so they don't come apart and spill all the content that's in it. So you basically just mix your all-purpose flour, a tablespoon, or depending on how many samosas you're making, it might be a little bit more, with water, and stir to make a watery paste, basically. All right, we'll then put that aside and we are going to cut tortillas into pieces that will then fold, okay? Like quarter each. For starters, we shall use the top one. We're basically cutting it into 4 pieces, just like that, okay? So an easier way of doing that is just use the top one as your measuring kit, pretty much, and it will guide you into what's half and what's quarter. So that's half of the first one. We're going to make smaller sized samosas, and so that's why we're cutting these into 4. Okay, and then into quarters. We'll do the same. Open that up, turn that there. You can just use any knife, but not a butter knife, but like a sharp knife. I'm using a steak knife, so that's easier. And then after that, you just cut the top one. And if you're just making a few, you can just fold them up and cut them up, you know, like that. Or if you have kitchen scissors, you can actually just use kitchen scissors to kind of just cut them. All right, so now we have pieces into basically that shape, and easy peasy. All right, now to fold, you're basically having that around it there, holding that to that, basically, and as small as a hole there. And then your paste that you made earlier on, your glue, comes in between these two to make sure they stay put, they hold together. So you're just gonna use your hand or a brush and just brush a bit of it on the lower one or the upper one, whichever one of the flaps, and just flap that and put it aside to dry. Do the same thing to all your pieces, basically doing that. Turn it round, apply your glue, which is basically your paste of water and all-purpose flour. See, it's almost like making a cone. So if when you were young, you probably made a cone out of paper or something. That's basically what you're doing. And our paste, that should be basically your consistency, not too light and not too thick. Okay, folding that to that, and applying that paste just to hold that together. You want those to stick and dry out, because once you start to stuff the meat, it might pull them apart. And that's how you make your pockets. Try and make sure that hole at the bottom is very close to the other edge so that your stuffing doesn't fall out. And basically that's how you make your stuffing. So you make as many as you want, put them aside for a minute to dry, and by the time you come to start stuffing, they'll be held together. As you see, the first one is pretty much almost dry. All right, now that we are done making our pockets, this is what they look like, dry. We're gonna stuff them with our meat and finish the wrapping process. Like I said at the beginning of my video, we made our pockets using tortillas. If you do not know or do not have the time to make your wrappings from scratch, which can be a very tedious, very specialized process, you can just use tortillas, the plain tortillas that you'll find at Walmart or any of your grocery stores. So basically just use a spoon, get any of the pockets. We're still gonna need our glue that we made with the water and the flour, the paste. We shall fill it. Stuff up our pockets. You don't want to overstuff them, because then closing will be a problem. Press that down a bit, and then basically you're gonna fold that. It's basically like closing an envelope. And you're gonna put some of your glue at the top part of your pocket, again to hold it all together, and you're going to flip that up. So the reason why you don't want to overstuff them is because closing the pocket might be a challenge, just like I think I overstuffed this one. And a little trick to hold this down until the time when you're going to fry it is to put a toothpick right there to close, to hold that together as it dries up. Okay, so that's one down. do this again just so you get the concept. Push that down a bit. Again, don't overstuff them. Put some of your past. You can use a kitchen brush. I do not have one right now, so that's why I'm using my fingers. I wash my fingers, and these are going into very hot oil anyways, so there is no chance that any germ will be on your finished samosa. There we go. Okay, I'm clearly overstuffing these, but you get the concept. Do not overstuff yours. And then toothpick. Again, we'll try this with less meat. Okay, with less stuffing, so it's a lot easier to close. Just on the top one, fold that in and that over. And a toothpick to hold that down. So you're basically holding that down so they don't open up as it dries before you drop that into the oil, right? Like that. All right, this is nicely stuffed, not overstuffed. So just put a bit of your paste. I want to call it glue just in case someone thinks I'm putting glue on food, and then just flap that over. Right, you want to make sure all the corners are nicely together so your content does not spill. And then you put your toothpick. So basically you go on until all your pockets are done. Basically with time, as you practice, you become perfect. But in short, this is how you make your samosa pockets and stuff them ready to be deep fried.